Hi everyone, my name is Leanne and today I'm going to be bringing you a booktuber shoutouts video. So I'm going to be telling you about some channels that I have discovered recently. There are so many booktube channels that I absolutely love, and I decided for this video to just keep it to channels that I have discovered in the past few months. I don't know about you guys, but my watch later playlist is always brimming. It is never ending. I will never complete my watch later playlist, and yet I am still always hyped when I find new booktube channels to enjoy. I just love that there's this little community of us that just want to talk about books all the time, that are getting excited about what we want to read, we're reading things together, we're giving each other recommendations, we're telling each other what we didn't like, and all of those things are just, they're just so fun. Anyways, I have 10 channels to talk to you about today, so let's just get into it. And obviously with all of the people that I'm mentioning in this video, I will leave their channels linked down below in the description so you can check them out. The first channel I'm going to recommend to you is Lois. Lois's channel is so great, and whenever she talks about books, it is a really like nuanced, thoughtful review of what she's talking about. She does do individual reviews and recommendations videos, which I've really appreciated. I think it was last month she did a review of Don't Touch My Hair by Emma DeBerry, which you guys probably know was one of my favourite non-fiction books of last year. She's done a few BAME specific recommendations videos. She did a video specifically on the book The Bible, and she also fairly recently did a video on her favourite book covers of books that she owns, and I love a good video on book covers. You can 100% judge a book by its cover. And I think there's a fair bit of overlap in the things that we like to read, so if you find that your reading tastes align with mine sometimes, then I think they would align with Lois's as well. I also want to recommend to you the channel Rae of Sunlight. She does the most calming, relaxing, aesthetic vlogs, and I have enjoyed them so much. Rae also reads quite a lot of classics. She did a really great video on arranging her classic books that I really enjoyed, but I think does also read quite broadly. And she reads a lot of kids' books, and she did a whole video about why we should all read children's books. And my heart I loved it just so much. As someone that personally loves reading kids books, as someone who works in kids books, that video, it made my heart swell. I also really want to recommend the channel Reading with Katie. Katie is again someone I think who reads quite broadly. She does videos on her reading journal, and I am someone that does little bits of writing about my reading and list making in notebooks, but I'm definitely not one of those people that is like really good at it. But I'm obsessed with watching people who are. She's another person whose reading vlogs I really love, especially because she lives in Iceland, which is somewhere that I have never been but would love to go to. So I feel like when I'm watching her reading vlogs, I'm just kind of living vicariously through her. Also, Katie is Scottish, and that means I'm obsessed with her accent. I don't want to make this weird, Katie, but you know, I could listen to you speak all day and it would be the best time. My next channel recommendation for you is Dee from Heroines Corner. When I think about channels who have like really enriched my life in the past couple months, it's Dee. All of her reviews are so thoughtful, they are so nuanced. I really value and respect her opinion on books. She talks a lot about Black British writing, and she also talks a lot about what it is like to be a Black creator on this platform. She did an absolute chef's kiss of a video recently on all things to do with like booktube burnout, performative reading, and also beauty standards on this platform. I think every booktuber should watch that video, because I think we have all felt what she is talking about in that video in relation to like booktube burnout and the ideas around performative reading. Dee did speak about in that video how, you know, when people support her channel, it can sometimes contribute to the like pressure to feel the need to upload videos all of the time. Dee, this is no pressure. I'm just trying to tell you that I just think you're great. I just think you're great. There's no pressure here, just admiration. The next channel I'm going to recommend to you is one that I discovered only the other day, and that is Reading Andrew. I believe Andrew has been doing like Bookstagram for quite a while, but recently decided to join the booktube community, and from his first video I was just like, yes. I just knew this was a channel where I was going to have a great time. Now, I don't know Andrew's reading tastes too well just yet, but from what I've seen of his videos so far, I do think there is quite a lot of overlap in our reading tastes, particularly when it comes to like middle grade and YA books that have like LGBTQ plus themes. His second booktube video was about books to read in one sitting, and I love those kinds of books. I think there is no greater feeling than reading a whole book in one sitting, and I love short books as well. I also want to recommend Charlotte from Books and Bargains, who is just like the nicest person ever. I associate Charlotte's channel with like a lot of kind of rom-com, contemporary women's fiction, whatever you want to call like that kind of genre. Some books for younger readers as well. Books that have queer representation in them. Charlotte to me is just such an open, honest, warm, and like inviting person. Like her videos just have that vibe of being sat with her and just like having a cup of tea or like just chilling. She's done some videos where she is comparing different subscription box services, which I think are really cool videos, and she definitely looks at some subscription services that aren't like the big massive ones that you normally think about. And I think when sometimes BookTube can stray into being like very consumerist, you know, so many of us have like loads of books behind us. I love when she talks about like where she's getting her books from and like getting books from charity shops, you know, books and bargains, and really demonstrates that you can have an extensive book collection on a budget. I love the vibes of her channel, and her bookshelves are completely gorgeous. The next channel I'm going to recommend to you is Literary Lily. Again, someone who just has the most beautiful bookshelves. I'd say Lily reads more YA fantasy than I would, but a real sign of a BookTube channel that I absolutely love is when, even if they're talking about books that aren't really in my reading tastes, I still want to hear what they think of them. And there definitely is some overlap in our reading tastes as well. Her vlogs are really great. She did a reading vlog where she read 7 books in 1 week and was also dog sitting. Always here for dog content. And Lily also does a lot of videos around autism, recommendations for autistic authors, books that have autistic characters. She's recently done a video on red flags for autistic representation in books, things to look out for that show that the representation in the book isn't as good as it could be. And she's also shared her own experiences about how being autistic has shaped her own reading and her own reading experiences. And her channel is just so much fun as well. My next channel recommendation is Lana. Lana is someone who reads really widely, and again, that is something that I love in a BookTube channel. It's when there are like loads of different types of books in there, loads of different genres. Her vlogs are amazing. In particular, I must say, her vlogs for the Irish Readathon made me so happy. She does an amazing series on her channel, which is all about like, not the books that she has hauled recently, but the books that have like kind of got onto her wish list, got onto her radar recently, and who recommended them to her. So it's kind of like in those videos, not only are you getting like a book recommendation from her, but you are also getting a BookTuber recommendation. She also did a video recently on Shakespeare inspired recommendations. So if you're into Shakespeare but also like contemporary retellings of his plays, then definitely check that video out. The next channel I really want to recommend to you is Memo Brown, whose channel I love it. I love it. I mean, obviously I love all of these channels, but her channel is just so good. She reads a whole bunch of stuff, and it's all stuff that I want to hear about. She does individual book reviews, which I've really appreciated, like her recent reviews on The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo and Passing by Nella Larson. There isn't just book content on her channel. She's done a really cool video where like her younger sister teaches her about TikTok. She's done like a cook with me video, which is kind of related to books because she's like cooking from a specific cookbook. And if I'm being completely honest, one of the things that really cemented her channel as a place where I just want to spend loads of time is when she did a video on why she loves trashy TV and why we should all love it, because I love trashy TV. Give me all of the shittiest reality TV shows that you can find and I'm in. If you're not already subscribed to Memo Brown's channel, just like, what are you doing? Like literally, what are you doing with your life? Sort your shit out. And my final recommendation for this video is Eleanor Marie Rose. She does do a lot of like book content, like book reviews and book hauls, but like really specifically from, I think, a publishing angle. When she's sharing her thoughts on what she's been reading, it is like her personal reviews and stuff. But like, I think quite a few of her book hauls have been like proof book hauls. So talking about like what is on the horizon for books that are being published, what books are like being hyped at the moment. And she also does incredible videos on teaching people more about the publishing industry. She also does a series where she gets other people onto the channel to talk about their roles in the publishing or the book trade. If you are someone who has come to this channel from my videos on getting into publishing, which I know quite a few of you have, then you should absolutely go and subscribe to Eleanor's channel, because she talks about publishing like so much more than I do. And she just really helps to make what is actually a very like confusing industry accessible for people. The work she is doing on her YouTube channel is so important. And that is it. They are all of the BookTube channels that I'm going to recommend to you today. I think we did 10 recommendations. I didn't actually count them. But it sounds like such a like obvious thing to say, but what I really love about watching BookTube videos is when I'm watching someone where I'm like, oh, we would be mates. Like, my favorite channels are always the channels where I'm like, yeah, we could hang out. As I said, all of the channels that I've mentioned will be linked down below in the description, so you can go and check them out and watch their videos. Go and treat yourself and watch a video or two from each of those channels. Tell them that I sent you. That is all I'm going to talk about today. I hope you guys are doing well, and I will speak to you in my next video.